Yo, what's up? Back with another one. In this one, we'll be looking at a video by Pensson Lua Q here, back when I said and made a video about him having demons. In this video, he's talking about unpacking the journey. And in this unpacking the journey video, almost within the first 3 sentences, he's already talking about he's got demons, he's got challenges.
I've got my own demons. I've got my own challenges. So I've got demons. I've got challenges. Good. Fast forward 2024, I have an opportunity to actually air out some of my pain, some of my challenges, some of my demons, some of my shortfalls.
And I'm like, hey, you see, I can tell that you and your brother are brothers. There's this way of speaking that takes dark things and just merges them with common everyday speech. Yeah, so we're here revisiting Penson, and in this video, he seems to be agreeing with Katlego Moagi from Citizen Concerned. Am I bothered? Do I have a problem? You all know I've been on the counter offensive against Katlego, calling her out for the disrespect towards black people. And now here is Pensson Mlotshwa agreeing with her. Do I have a problem? Let's listen and find out why.
Similar, guys. I've got so much on my mind, like thoughts everywhere. Like, so if I seem please guys forgive me. And I haven't eaten anything today. And the recording of this is 6 p.m. So lambile ngakadli and umqondo is everywhere.
Let me 1.2x speed him.
I sent a tweet. I posted a tweet. I tweeted a tweet that says something along the lines of, you are where you are in life based on how you rationalize and process the content that you consume. So based on how you process and implement that content, you'll become successful. So if you are given information, you're given content, you're given whatever, and you do a shit job at processing and implementing, you won't be successful. And on the other side, if you consume information, content, whatever the case may be, and you process it like really well and you implement it, you'll become successful. And I say all of that to say this. I think I'm at a point where I'm starting to lean with the whole, the youth of South Africa, is just misguided. They just don't know what the fuck they're doing.
You're starting to lean with that. I'm not going to be having much of an issue with what you're going to say there, but I'm wondering, bro, you are grown up. You are waking up to morality. You are waking up to immorality. And it's strange that you are finding your source of morality, your authority on this is seeming to be Katlego. And she has given you the wake-up call. Have you never been to church? Have you never looked at what the Bible says about a person and how they are to carry themselves in this life in a way that allows them to last long? Have you never read that and looked outside and seen how people are spending themselves very quickly? If you're saying you're starting to lean with this, you're starting to get this, I hope that you haven't found the popularity of making such content about black people, especially the derogatory, ugly type that is down-putting, especially to the young kids. I've been seeing these Summer Sambit. He's sort of leaning into this thing, as you say, that the youth is misguided, etc., etc. However, one thing you need to understand, if you're going to be judgmental, and of which you have the right, we are to judge and discern and call things right or wrong. You should realize that there's a group who have had this awakening, but the awakening is simply to how profitable it is to make these videos. South Africa is in a seriously bad state, and that bad state was something for us to look at for a long time, languish in if you are living in that situation, or look at with disgust if you live outside of that situation. But there are some who've said, nah man, there has to be something here that we can monetize and use. These black people in this state are still useful. You know that black people are the people who get sold alcohol, the people who get sold the ugliest music, the people who will get sold the worst ideas about sexuality, about politics, about faith, people who are just being taken this way and that, like lab rats. There are higher ups, people of intelligence who can see that, man, these people are incredibly vulnerable and I can use them for something, for an experiment, to prove a particular point, to run psychological operations. I believe that some higher ups, some CIA, some organizations are constantly testing, split testing, doing experiments, trying to see how low down you can get a black person to take themselves. And these poor people are not aware of the outside powers, the outside forces that are working their mind and shaping their life. So you say you're waking up to this and you're going to go on to speak some words that suggest that you are a man who is seeing a problem here. But I hope that you are not chasing this because of how profitable it is for the algorithm. I hope that even if it is, you come here and you guide the youth properly. This is what I was saying. And in my protection of the young people that the Summer Sambits are attacking. If you look at his content, he seems to be a gay young man. And so he has this position as a man who does not desire women and he does not associate properly with the masculine South African male. He is somebody who has separated himself and is now sitting on a high horse. And as he's making examples of what's wrong with the country, the youth, he's doing it all in a way that does not seem to be taking proper consideration of how young those people are. Katlego, I see you also just dropped a video of a young child in uniform who seems to be dancing with her little booty popping there. This is the stuff that I hate. Young, vulnerable children who find themselves engaged in such a life, who have never had the guidance of the Lord, who have never had guidance from the home, are of course going to fall into a situation where they spend their youth making mistakes, dancing on tables, sleeping with older men, drinking while they're young, experimenting with drugs at an extremely young age, getting pregnant, having to go and remove that pregnancy, etc., etc. Those young people there do not deserve the harsh criticism that they are getting. That's what I'm totally saying. The older you get, the more we actually judge you and say you are responsible for certain things. But look at Summer Sambit. Look at his thumbnails. He's got youth in uniform. He's got the youngest people. So he has said, all right, here's a target market of people who will clearly make mistakes because they are fatherless, some are motherless, some have been abused in their homes, and now the girls are wilding out. And he says, you know what, I'll make content about this because this is an evergreen thing. The immorality in this region among these people does not cease. And so he's profiting of that. I hope, brother, that you are not profiting of this and you are actually waking up and you'll be doing something good about this. Let's keep listening.
They put all the energy in the wrong shit. They rationalize Amasimba. They process Amasimba, Simba in, Simba out. The content that they consume, a lot of it is just rubbish. You know, it's a lot of sisters twerking, showing off ass. You go now.
And bro, as somebody who seems to be repenting, as somebody who's talking about young kids who've consumed content, you've been a content provider for quite some time. You need to look in the mirror, go look at the things you post, the things that you talk about, and judge yourself. Are you one of good family values? Are you an authority? Can we listen to you going forward? Are you the celebrity who stands for nothing, who will say anything as long as it's profitable, who will talk rubbish when rubbish is trendy, and then who will go and speak morality when morality seems to be getting high views at the expense of the immoral young ones who have never been taught, the lost, as we Christians would call them?
And you press on the search button on Instagram and you see all these ladies that pop up. I don't know what Instagram is trying to do because I follow as best as I can, like content that's about stimulating my mind, growing me. But there'll always be like in the search, like random things like Amandia, like what the hell? I don't consume this information. And you'll see our sisters angling their ass and their titties and showing their quads, and you're like, what content, what information do we have?
Penson, are you and Citizen Concerned in the same WhatsApp group? She dropped that video this morning. You dropped yours yesterday. I know content creators conspire. They do. For clicks, there are those who reach out to others and say, yo, I'm about to drop this, retweet it. It's been happening on Twitter. It might just be a coordinated effort that can be achieved as well on YouTube. And Katlego has a child with her ass out and your video is convenient and you're going to quote her if you haven't already.
In this social media street, what is it? And if I'm in my teens, in my 20s, and that's what I'm consuming, like, it's going to be a struggle to process that, because I'm taking shit in. What's a computer science term? Something like crap data in, crap data out. Silly questions get silly answers. So again, it's misguided. So you see the youth time and time again saying the most rubbish things, doing the most rubbish acts. They don't know any better. Like, they get guided into absolute trash. And here's the funny thing. We've got so much potential. We've got so much talent. We've got so much skills. We are blessed in so many ways. But if you are big Mr. Muscles and you use your big Mr. Muscles to do harm and bully people, then that's fucked. If you got an amazing brain, a beautiful brain, and you're using that to do corruption and to steal, that's fucked. If God has blessed you with a great body and you're using it to sell for the latest iPhone or for a free trip, then that's fucked. Like, youth is totally misguided. As amazing as the youth is, with so much potential. A good friend of mine, Eves, had suggested that I watch a channel. I think it's called Citizens Concerned. I think it's Citizens Concerned. And, I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And it's this lady, I forgot her name. Please just check out the
Katlego Moagi, please check out her channel. How close to her are you? How closely do you agree with her approach? Her approach is one that is degrading to black people. Penson, do you know motivational books? Do you know the importance of being young and surrounding your mind with positivity? Have you ever read the book Think and Grow Rich? Have you ever read how saturated with hope and success and goodness and money you need to be in your brain for you to actually start to come out of the general public, to stand out, to become better, to become distinct? Motivational speakers exist for a reason. It's in order to pull down those whose morale is low. Now tell me, if Katlego is somebody that you think is a moral authority and she's worth watching, and you believe that she champions good values, do you believe that she's actually doing it in a way that effectively deals with immorality? A moral authority should be against immorality general. But have you seen how she's specifically pointing immorality and sin towards the black people? Have you seen how she is one of those people who wash and eradicate, who totally erases the facts in her mind about how black people have wound up in this situation? She's an apartheid dismisser. She's a socio-economic condition never minder, and she goes straight for, this is the problem, and this just comes because you've got a black skin and a black brain in there. There's no other force, there's no other power outside. You don't have, she'll say about the black influences, the music, etc. She'll talk about piano and rap. She pretty much places herself to look and sound like Candace Owens. But look at how that is not Christ-like. Christ would never focus on the morality of others and let others to feel like they are holy and righteous, that they have no work to do to become better morally, to become less sinful in their households. She squarely focuses on black people. Is that a moral authority that you can trust? One who vindicates worse immorals and convicts young children who've never been shown the truth? Do you know how painful it is to walk a life where you've never had guidance? My wife, for example, is somebody who had, and she admits to, poor parenting in her life. She's a woman now, 28, going on 29, who's been living in a period for a year where she recognizes how wrong certain things were in her life. Having now had our third child, having now dedicated her full energy to just a simple spiritual life, taking care of child, bonding with husband, being a peacemaker, being optimistic about our marriage, she's starting to see why she was a bit of a radical, why she was insubordinate, and why she never paid attention to my guidance and my authority. And she cries tears when she tells me that, hey man, I can see who you are, I can see what you've gained from your parents, and I never gained that. Imagine now you're laughing at my wife. Imagine you're laughing at younger versions of her out there, young kids, young girls, who've had no guidance. Maybe recommend better leaders. Maybe recommend Pastor Kabelo Mabalani, who it seems has got a group of dudes together, starting to become conscientized about wellness, holiness, righteousness, and the Lord God Almighty. Cue here a video where Nota is actually speaking about that.
I called Refilo Ramokas, and I was saying to him, hey, Rotman, my generation needs an intervention, a serious intervention. I don't know what you can do, but we need your generation's help in some way, shape or form. And then he spoke to Rotman Letu, Pastor Mabalan, and I guess they revived the idea of bringing back his home cell, And personally, for me, I just never had the time to dedicate to a home cell group with the other things that I'm doing. But I felt that a lot of people within my generation needed it, and it's been very encouraging to hear that a lot of people have gone there, and they found some sort of spiritual guidance. I know before Keenan passed away, he started going to that home cell. I talked to El Tito at least monthly or something. He's part of that home cell. I think Casper is also part of that home cell that Pastor Mabalani is doing. A lot of guys, Abo Younger Chief and a whole lot of other guys. So, I hope that they can continue with that and stay strong with that. And we can at least use this as an example or a prototype of some sort of mentorship that Amarotman are able to give.
You heard, Penson? So, you having been somebody who was previously having demons in your head, now it seems that you're waking up. Do not wake up to a false pastor, a false minister, a false moralist like Katlego. Go to the proper places. I vouch for Pastor Kabelo Mabalani for you to go and find your awakening there rather than on somebody who's out here to monetize the suffering of young girls and even an older demographic black people.
Citizens Concerned, I think that's what the channel is called. Just check her out. And I was consuming like 10 of her video clips. And she gives that whole, if you guys know TikTok, that Tamara, but Tamara, that some of the ladies hate, where she speaks about the rot of society, and she speaks about how certain sisters and certain celebrities are tearing down society and how they use their body and they glorify prostitutes. And I'm watching this.
And she says whites are superior. She did a whole entire video about white supremacy. She dedicated a video to saying that white people are superior.
White people are superior to black people. White people are superior.
That's why I have a problem with Mandisa Mashio also going on that podcast with Nota to say that, Look, people can do better. You can give them compliments for it. But when you give that compliment to their whiteness and you don't pay attention to their organizedness and you don't pay attention to the advantage, the lifting that apartheid did. Apartheid went and fetched white people and lifted them up, specifically, particularly, intentionally. So if you're going to be glorifying and giving compliments to a particular people and denigrating others, tearing them down, understand what it is that you are liking and what it is you are hating in the other. Go to Pastor Mabalani, my brother.
Like, this is exactly what we're going through. Here's the messed up part. They don't know any better. They don't know any better. Like, legit, Machita, how many times have you spoken to a lady, had a chat on WhatsApp, and the next thing she asks you to please send her money for food, or please can you do this for her, any favor, sababa, what, and you're like, where do you get that? Is this how our parents raised our sisters? I don't think so. And if they did, sure. Where are we going in society? I'm seeing a whole generation of sisters who are expecting their boyfriends to do things they would have never dared their fathers to. And if my man can't do this, then he's not with this. If he can't do this, and you're like, we're so misguided. We're so lost. We've got so much potential. I go back home. I see young kids, young gents, sorry for saying kids, young gents in their early 20s. Amachita have no job, have like nothing. But Amachita was ukuhlanganisa imali for important Hennessy. They'll put it together, like the five of them, they'll get a bottle of Hennessy. They'll take pictures with their iPhones. They don't work, they don't study. They'll take pictures with their iPhones and they'll post on Instagram. Clout. They're trying to show that they're worth something. They're screaming, hey, look at me. They're wearing like, I'm a Jordans. They've got this lavish Instagram life. And you're like, bro, what are you trying to do, Tok? People know how to come together for bullshit. They come together for parties they can't afford. They come together for bottles they can't afford. They come together and they do all these things and they rationalize and process absolute shit. We've got a whole generation of misguided individuals. A whole generation. Whether it's body positivity, abantu aba obese, say ukuthi nabo ba, yes, uzoshona. Amajit engashanga isikuni yangale. Hey, uzoshona isikuni. Uzoshona. Totally misguided. Busy highlighting the worst things or the wrong things or things that has no growth. But I'm thinking and I'm like, but we still have the ability to highlight. We still have the ability to come together, slang and so 100 rand. We still can do that. But instead of going, 50 kg was cement or to go and start some sort of business, whatever the case may be, we would rather go buy the Hennessy, take a post. I don't consume some of these shows, Mzansi Magic, what's Big Brother, but I'm well aware of Lopotilo, Winnie Big Brother, Sweet Kuluva. Go Sweet Kuluva. And congratulations, brother. All the best with I think he's a musician. All the best with your career. I don't consume those shows. I don't. I don't see any benefit for me. There might be benefit for others. We are all different. Koneba support the Sundowns, Koneba support the Chiefs, Koneba support the Pirates, is Shogin. I don't consume that. And he won.
You don't consume that. Do you produce content that others are consuming, which is harmful? Let's talk about you being the producer, the broadcaster. Let's shift away from those who are consuming. What are you outputting?
That. And he won. And I'm on X and I'm seeing like in Durban, there's like a whole group of students like on the street, by celebrate, it's not by a march, which is great. You need to support whoever you support. No qualms. But how can't we do that for situations where Usisi got raped and molested and we get together to say, fuck this, if the campus police don't do something, if the police stand.
Yeah, let's stand up against the things Ike Kumalo says, the dirty, toilet, sexual, grape humor. Let's let the sister who is currently accusing Kehlelezi to have her time in court, and she'll be on the Hustler's Corner quite soon. Let's listen to her and judge what the situation is. This is what I came to agree with you on.
The police then, no, we're not going to do that. We'd rather come together for Opoto Sweet Kuluf. Why aren't we coming together to buy textbooks? Why can't we come together and do those things where we can pay for students that are struggling? We run on Twitter and swear AfriForum, Amapuna racist. They've come together. Whether you can hate on what the agenda is racist or sharp, where with your positive agenda, come together. Why aren't you doing that? No, the government did it. They didn't ask. They didn't wait for the government. They didn't ask. Yeah, I am Apuna. So
Ayo, bro, do you remember the song Jay-Z, Already Home? Do you fully comprehend with your adult brain that the Afrikaners are already home? Do you understand in business, in startups, that there's a first mover advantage? Do you understand that no one can have a first mover advantage again? Do you understand that the first one to claim the top of a mountain usually fences the bottom of the mountain, and they stand from the top of the mountain with a rifle, protecting that position with everything that they have? And so that protection, we call it a moat. Once somebody has moved in and occupied a particular position, they start to have a defense wall. There's a wall of China that defends people who are privileged. You can't see it with your own eyes. There are spaces where the best spaces, for example, where restaurants can be open. Let's say black people were to become owners of Steers and McDonald's. Do you know that capitalism moved so fast, so quick a long time ago? Those who have capital, they bought their land 20 years ago, looking at the township that is growing nearby, noting that this township can't afford McDonald's yet, but I will buy this little stand at this intersection. And this is somebody in 1992, they're buying a stand in the township. This is big capital. This is white mind thinking. Then in 2027, I will go open up a McDonald's there because of the black people, the population growing there, those who become middle class, there'll be enough of that number to support my McDonald's franchise. Bruh, you can't move fast enough. You can't wake up fast enough to buy land that is already been bought. You understand? That is a moat. That puts you in a place where you are kind of undefeatable. And so if you're going to be praising the AfriForum like Mandisa is doing, and I've seen your brother in the past do videos where he says black people are so stupid, and that was run about the time when he was getting close to Rob Hersoff. Down talking black people is something that I've seen Tlantla do as well. So this thing with Katlego Moagi and what she's doing is nothing new. This downplaying of black people, denigrating them, talking ugly. This is a blacks are trash movement. If you remember, the men are trash. And it's coinciding with a white lives matter movement. A supremacist movement is being pushed. And you seem to be people that I suspect are in a close network of people who can be bought to say certain things now to push a blacks are trash narrative. So I agree with you, brother, ne? But I'm cautious of you. I want to understand, where did you get your awakening from? Are you a godly man all of a sudden? Do you have the authority to speak? Have you been outputting good content? Are you saying the youth have been consuming other people's rubbish? You have not fed society rubbish at all? You are now loving AfriForum, sounding like you are reading from a hymn book. Your brother platforms Mandi, sir. He platforms you. You'll go to the same platform with Waras and all go and praise AfriForum. What's happening with you dudes? But I agree with you, man.
But the racists, they got together. Yeah, but apparently they bought that land from your ANC government. By the title deed. Legally. And they built their own shit. See, now we can just be on the outside shouting, swearing, doing this. No, guys. We've got so much potential. I was saying, sweet Kuva here, sweet Kuva here. And I was like, I love that. Now that we've got this momentum and we can show that we can, how about we highlight OCC who are starting their businesses? OCC that doing phenomenal things. Can they also get highlights? I'm not saying don't highlight this guy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying can we use the same energy to highlight the positives that other sisters are doing? OCC to hundreds of thousands of ban showing off their ass and their quets on social media. Okay, sharp. You want to show your ass and your quet? It's your body, it's your social media show. Can you, somewhere in the middle of showing your ass and your quet, also highlight some of the amazing things that you might have done with your quet and ass man?
Welcome to this Body Works For Me Season 2 reunion, the only adult entertainment reality series in Africa.
I took my ass and quet money and then I was able to sing it up. I was able to build something for this. We are so misguided.
You see, I think you're misguiding people right there. I don't think OnlyFans whores should come out and say, these are the benefits of whoring. I've now bought 10 loaves of bread. You can also be a child who whores, gets money and buys people some bread. That just sounds narcissistic. It just sounds like promotion. It just sounds like the mind of a man who is constantly in a social media framing of mind. Let's post, let's show people. Who are you really telling us to showcase Difebezodumo? My body works for me. Is that what you're saying is your solution? Woo!
We put all our energy and attention in the most fucked up things. Groove, chwala, scorn sex. We will cross the rivers. We will climb mountains for all the things and we are just totally misguided because we show the potential that we can work together. We can find data somewhere which is posting on Sweet Kuluva, which is posting on Sbanban, which is posting about whoever. We can. So we do that. Let's do that. Continue to support who you need to support, but let's also highlight the positives. Okay, sharp, you want to put together money as a machita for a okay, no qualms, sure. But let's also touch on the money, let's as Daisa lose the strategy. Asidayise lokho asihlanganise manje sihlela ekhona nasizifakho asibe sidayisa lesibonise njani start lento ngathi sidayisa amaluzi kancane kancane from this amaluzi sidayisa a whole pack of cigarettes sidayisa ama carton from the let's go somewhere with this. Let's have real direction instead of going left. Oh sisibethu hey saba wena this hey ngicela.
Let's scale up the sale of cigarettes to our communities. What about liquor? Are you trying to stay off that because it would be too controversial? You just thought cigarettes is the most basic thing a black dude can sell. And let's scale that up.
I need to get this textbook. I need to get this for my business to do this, to flourish. Please can you give me advice around tax? Please can you help me around accounting? Please can you help me around nothing? Nothing. Chris Brown. Supporter and you by him. However, we are putting all of our energy in the most toxic spaces. That's why you are where you are.
My body works for me. Is that a toxic space? Is it?
You are rationalizing absolute bullshit.
Did you rationalize earlier hoes coming out and showing us that they made it and doing a small gesture of kindness?
Okay, sharp. You wanna show your ass in your crack? It's your body, it's your social media show. Can you, somewhere in the middle of showing your ass in your crack, also highlight some of the amazing things that you might have done with your quacks and ass, man?
The information that you are taking in is trash. Therefore, you are processing trash and then you are delivering trash. All right, guys, we need to do better, man. We need to do better. And then calling out our sisters, and they do, and calling out our sisters. No, very lona. Not to set out. You pick me, or she's a pick me. Now she's got a child after wedlock. Okay, sharp. She's done her wrongs, and she's spoken about her wrongs, and now she's trying to do right. Is she perfect? Far from it. No one is. Even though Sisi Logo citizens concerned, of course, none of us are perfect. But in the midst of mixed masal of la masimbo wenzayo, always isn't it right? I look at some people's social media, I go, what the fuck are you trying to sell us? If LinkedIn is your professional CV, professional digital CV, social media like TikTok or Instagram, that is your social CV.
Penson, bruh, are you gonna tell me that you're not smashing them bitches? Let me talk to you like a real dude. Are you telling me that you are a holy and righteous man who has control of his penis? Are you telling me that that social media and those Instagram pictures that you're coming across are not things that you actually love and enjoy? I mean, I'll tell you, bruh. When I open Instagram, those pictures come up. And there, I have to say a prayer about how I realize that I'm not as strong as I think I am, considering how long I end up staying on those pages. And I hope that you are not acting like you don't like those beautiful women who show up there. I hope that you recognize that you actually love that and you take that to church. You take that to Pastor Kabelo Mabala. As long as you try to deny here that you're not thirsty for what you see there, you will soon be exposed to be a hypocrite. I've heard pastors, good men, speak in front of their congregations to say, look, I would be lying to you if I told you that I'm not tempted. However, in order for me to make sure that the idiot in me does not come out, I've made sure that I've set up a certain life where my wife has access to me, my phone, my whereabouts. I always move with men of the congregation so that I never fall. You here sound like you're just pretending, man. You sound like you just came here to sound righteous. You are trying to sound like Sama Sambit. Of course, Sama Sambit doesn't like booty, man. He doesn't like Instagram pictures. Yes, be critical of girls who post those things, but don't act like you don't like what you see there, bruh. I like it myself. And I have to repent constantly of that. And I have to stay away from Instagram because the algorithm caught me a long time ago to be a man. It's since been serving me all of this, and I get distracted by it. So if you're really waking up, wake up indeed, my brother. Don't come here and say, hey, this stuff is nonsense. And then in the background, you're the guy, you're the famous dude who gets DM'd by girls all over the place. You're loved all over the place. And you're a smasher. You're a smasher. You're a smasher. You're a smasher. Ah.
And yes, as employers, we look through that shit. And if I'm looking through that and I'm saying this person doesn't align with the company's values, doesn't align with the company culture, why would I pick you? If I can't take your profile on Instagram and go show my mom and say, hey, mama, that's intombi yami. Because you're every second picture. Every second picture. Njalo maphuma swimming pool for vezi ezi. Manjima ngqoka lama tight ama butt cheek ngapha. For who? Because I was ujima ukubheka izinqa zakho. Uwenza uba. We so misguided. Yo, guys, let's do better as society. Let's do better. Let's really try, because we do have this potential. We have shown with those sweet Kuluva, etc., which we can work together. We have shown the potential of being able to part the concert tickets. We have shown the potential that we actually can. We can come together and we can do something for the greater cause. We did it with Fees Must Fall. Student. Okay, sharp. There's waves on this, but we've shown positive things. There's shown time and time again. Hamba ke no driver khona Friday Saturday driver bese Sunday asigezeke siqoqe ke Sunday kuze kufike Friday sizama ukuzakha as a society. And
akiwe esontweni uthi abantu bajive bese bangaya esontweni bese bazicompose. Monday you put on a Monday brain, and on the weekend you put on a weekend brain. You turn up with a different identity, and then on Monday you put on a different one.
And do better instead again of just bullshitting each other and misguiding the next person. I know, but if it's favor. Hey, guys, we lost. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm a little bit frustrated. Maybe I'm just hungry. Oh, what's it called?
Let me cut it right there, yo. Let me say this as I wrap up. For you out there who is Christian, one who is looking for proper right standing, you need to understand that the devil doesn't want you to leave church. The devil wants you to live like a demon on Friday and Saturday and then go to church on Sunday like nothing totally happened and stand there. He laughs at that. He loves it like that. He wants your influence from Saturday to go into the church, for you to sing and for people to be caught by your spirit. The Jezebel that you were just 4 hours ago as you woke up from a bed with a man who's not yours. And now you're standing there with your mouth open after you've had him in your mouth the whole night. I'll see you next time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe.